All right, guys, well, thanks for coming back again for the third and hopefully final round of this process of capital outlay funding for 2019-2020 school year. A couple things just to reiterate, what we've done in the first meeting was we went through and categorized all the requests. We had over 350 plus requests that we had to whittle down, and we got it down to about 140, 150 requests. The second meeting after that is we started looking at can we get the numbers down. We had approximately $10, $11 million worth of requests out of that 140 items identified, and we took it down to $5.4 million. It was tough, and we've actually tried to cut it down to a reasonable amount, which would be $5.4 million. But today, our goal is we need to take it down to a $3.8 million potential capital outlay funding source, and even down to a $3.0 million of capital outlay funding source. The reason why we have 5.4, 3.8, and 3 million, well, 5.4 was, I think we've talked about before, was because the old joint education funding formula that we had with the county. It was around this time frame that when we were looking at it, it was going to be the capital outlay based on the calculations that we had with CPI indexes and the increase in capacity and spaces that we have available. That number would have jumped from 3 million to 5.4 million. Okay, so we want to have that number out there, so if we do get the 5.4 million from the county, we're ready for it. The 3.8 million is a number, it's an intermediary number between 3 million, which we received on an annual basis for the last couple of years. And we are hoping that even if they don't bring us up to a 5.4 million, they can bring us up to at least a $3.8 million. So that's why we're looking at the three different numbers. When you start looking at your sheets, you'll notice that we went from 10 sheets on your request. We're down to 2 sheets now. So this should go a little bit quicker, okay? It'll be a little more painful, but a little bit quicker. A couple things to note, when you look at the columns, you'll see on your sheets, I don't have it on the screen, but you have the original request amount that's identified, and then what was in red is things that we had to change for that we did on April 5th, okay, to get to 5.4 million. All right, now we're going to go to April 9th, and this next column is the 3.8 million. And we're just going to start going through that process of looking at them and seeing if we can cut it down another, what is it, 1.6 million? Is that right? I think that's about right. $1.6 million we have to cut off the 5.4. Okay, as we make changes, it's going to show up in red, so that way we know we've identified another change that we had to make, and we'll go from there. Any questions? Okay, one of the things I do want to mention now that we're getting down to the tough choices is one of the things that we are trying to focus on this year especially is we know we got the mandated by law. The safety and security of staff and students is going to be something that's they would like us to focus on quite a bit as well. Okay, so we're looking at security. For example, some of the things we've done over the last couple of months is looking at SRO officers in the elementary schools. Well, we're still in that process of doing that, and that's on the operational side, but also on the capital side, what can we do to make schools safer as well? So they want that, I mean, not only do they want, but we want to focus on some safety issues as we go forward in this process. So when we start looking at these things, please remember that's one of the things that we have to look at. So if we want to look at, if we look at the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to change it out so we can start looking at the safety issues again. I mean, the mandated by law items that we have listed. And there's 3 of them right there. That's the modular classrooms, classroom ramps and steps. Okay, that's to be ADA compliant, also for new mobiles, or when we move mobiles around. We have dumpsters. We have to get the dumpsters replaced for $18,000. And then we have mobile classrooms for all sites. I mean, that's for the K-3 class size mandates that are coming up, and that was 520,000. I'm not sure if there's much we can do about changing these numbers. We might, I think that it's mandated. I mean, there's nothing else that I can really add to that process there. When we look at safety and security, we have a lot of cameras. We have Belfork Elementary. We're looking at putting 5 cameras in there. Carolina Forest, additional 4 cameras. The cover for walkway at Dixon High School Annex. And I think that's one of the things that we've talked about before. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can bring that up. While we've increased the capacity at Dixon High School, we've also created a situation where we have to go ahead and try to address the travel to and from classrooms, because we are using part of the old Dixon Middle School for this, and because we are using part of the old Dixon Middle School for this, what we're talking about, here's Dixon High School, and we've actually got a walkway going over to this section of the school right here. It's being repurposed from the old Dixon Middle School. That includes a gym, and also includes, I believe, 8 additional classrooms. And then we have 4 additional classrooms right here that can be repurposed as well. So we have a walkway across, but we don't have is a canopy. And this is a fairly long distance, and in inclement weather, we need to look at making sure that we can bring that across to them. We've done that with Swansboro Middle School, and that's something that that should be considered when we go forward with the Dixon High School. That was for $90,000. Now, is there any way we can do anything? Is that a reasonable number, or is that low, or?
It depends on the count. That's for a more or less a light duty aluminum awning.
Okay.
It's nothing as far as a heavy duty. If they decide that they want us to do something different as far as the wind ratings now, that may not be enough.
Okay, that's something we can start with.
It get us a start.
So we'll get them halfway across the campus, and they got to make a mad dash the rest of the way. I'm joking, guys. Don't take that seriously.
It's a
Yeah.
start.
So okay.
Now we're being since the new code come in and the hurricane, that they're a little tougher on us as far as
All
requirements.
right. We'll have to see what we can get with it and go out to bid. All right. Hunters Creek Middle School, they were asking for 2 additional cameras. Queens Creek, they're asking for 5 additional cameras. Richlands High School Gymnasium bleacher replacement, and we've got 200,000 there. Is that a good price for that? Is that something that can be done less than that, or?
No.
Okay.
I think we've already trimmed it.
Barrier fence at the rear of the school for Richlands High School. That's for the fencing across, over by the house, in the mobile classrooms, which is needed. It's 10,000. Is that something we could possibly take out of all sites with the fencing?
We could. We can.
Okay. Okay, rails on the home bleachers, we got 50,000 for that, and we were talking about trying to do some kind of,
Modification maybe.
modification.
But we'll have to have somebody certified, so that's, I don't know
So,
what it'll end up being, because we'll probably have to go back to some type of a manufacturer, bleacher manufacturer, have them, do the recommendations and, certify that whatever's done is safe.
Okay.
And they may have to do the modifications. They might not allow us to do them.
okay. replace VCT tiles in classrooms for Thompson Early Childhood Center. That's $30,000. How many classrooms are we talking about? Are we talking about 10, 12?
I don't know the exact number. I do know there are some that are significantly worse than others. So, I mean, if we need to do something to start and just kind of prioritize the classrooms and half it or whatever, there are some that are,
Right. So you want to focus on half of them now and work our way
Okay.
through it? Are you guys comfortable with that?
Yes, sir.
Mark, are you okay with that?
yeah, I'm good.
Okay, White Oak High School sidewalk connection. That was for 15,000. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
That was the one, yeah,
Like
they've got a
green?
crosswalk already, and it's
Yeah.
on the main highway, and,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's not much, but it's something
Yeah,
that's needed.
I think so.
Card access, okay. I went ahead and left the 300,000 in there, but we said if we cut it down to 2. About how many schools do you think that would cover for us right now?
I'm not sure of an exact number because we're getting into the more complicated parts, but you're looking at $3,000 to $3,500 per door.
Okay.
So we're getting into the bigger schools now. So
Okay, so we're looking at 20 doors, then you'd be running about $70,000. Okay, and transportation, we got replacement of maintenance service trucks, and that's for 7 of them,
Yep, and every one of them needs to be replaced.
okay. Activity buses, we took it down to 2,
Mm-hmm.
and,
I mean, the last two will be, one's 21 years old, the other one's 20, and they all are over 200,000, so
okay. Purchase mulch for the play areas,
That's just, that seems like
we never have enough.
a yearly
Yeah,
constant.
never have
We
enough,
usually have to buy
it's
more.
something that's needed, okay.
yeah, I think every elementary school probably has that issue, and every year I
Right.
think we're gonna have to put into that.
It's in there every year, and we,
Okay. And the air handler equipment that we're talking about for air quality at all schools.
Yeah, we gotta have it.
Okay. So let's see where we're at with the 3s. Usually this is the largest one that we have to be concerned about. Okay, Dixon Elementary School, the gym floor replacement. I mean, I think it's needed.
Was it part of the, I know it mentions in about hurricane, is it not covered under that, or is
No,
it
it's
something we
not
could?
covered.
Okay.
It wasn't damaged by the hurricane, but the last couple of years they've been asking for it, and the carpet's in fairly bad shape.
Mm-hmm.
And just recently, we've been starting to put in the new PVC flooring, which
Mm-hmm.
seems to be holding up well. And also it's a lot more sanitary. So, I mean, if we put it off another year, it could be done, but at the same time, is it something we want to get done this year?
I think if we need to do something this year. We need to go
I mean,
back.
I've experienced
I agree, but I
myself.
just
It's
want to
been
get
a while.
everybody else's
Just-
opinion on
What's,
this.
what's the cost difference with the carpet? I mean, I would prefer to go to the newer floor there, but I mean, something needs to be
It
done
wouldn't
because
be
it is
much
a
difference.
shipping hazard.
I don't think the cost
It's
would be
not
much
a
different.
great deal of difference, it's just it's just, this will pay for itself over the years, and they can run a floor machine over it and clean it and scrub it every day if they
Yeah.
want.
Then I would say
We'll have
leave it
the
there,
odor
but something
and-
has to be done.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
They're in there with their shoes on, so the floor's dirty, they're in there sitting on it, they're.
You've got over 1,000 kids, I mean,
Yes,
it's a lot.
it's something that really is needed there.
Okay. What about, for Dixon High School, the new carpet in the media center?
What do you think, Dan?
Put it off a year, I mean,
You want to put it off for another year, or
You try.
is it,
I mean, it needs replacing, but I mean, I know we gotta make choices, so. As far as between the two,
is it a safety issue right now?
no, sir, not a safety issue.
Okay.
That equipment's still running?
Is it still running?
Yes, sir, still running.
And we've got it in the CIP for years 2 through 5. You want to,
That's, been needed for several years.
Hunters Creek Middle School?
Yes, sir.
Gym replacement, okay. Air handler unit. Painting at Jacksonville High School?
That was, cut in half, I think.
Yeah, it was cut from
More than-
244,000.
Yeah, it does cut more than half.
Okay, so,
Just try to leave that right now?
It needs it.
Yeah. Drainage line for the stadium? It needs it, I mean,
Yes, sir.
HVAC equipment for Northwoods Park Middle School,
it's.
Place one of
it's-
2
it's
units.
Got to be done. We only have one unit
That's
that's
right.
working out of 2.
So we leave that in. Parkwood Elementary School, metal overhangs covering the sidewalks,
Every
or
year
rusty and
gets
leaky when it
worse.
rains. Okay.
Pay me now, pay me later. That's one of the things you need.
Parkwood Elementary, replace HVAC equipment for the number 2 classroom. For 2 classroom, I'm sorry, for unit, and condensing units for 2 classroom buildings. Okay.
They're still running. I don't know in all sites if we'll have enough, because we kind
Right.
of keep saying all sites is a catch-all, and it is for whatever
Right.
breaks, and it's still running.
And what will probably happen is if we get down to this point where, let's say for some reason we cut more than we anticipated, so instead of 3.8 million, it went down to 3.7 million because that extra $100,000 would go into all sites because that's where we're gonna catch things up as we can. Does that make sense?
I feel like maybe we need a HVAC all sites fund, because I think that's, you
And
know,
it's,
It is.
you just don't know
Right.
what's gonna
You
happen.
never
There,
know.
We were
Yep.
discussing in just a meeting we just
Yeah.
left, where
Yeah.
we've lost half the air conditioning at Jacksonville High School, their admin building.
And it's warm, I was over there this morning.
yeah,
and,
I've
Right.
got one down today. We've moved to class. I mean, I feel like that's probably needs to have a separate fund for depending on what goes down, because it seems to be a problem.
And the majority of our work, that's how it's handled. It's just if there's any way on certain areas, because it's such a long lead time on this equipment. And,
Okay.
so we could, if you wanna leave it right now, and then when we'll cut it out later.
All right. So you're saying we've already worked on 3 million, huh? All right, Richlands High School, main ditch in the front of the school reinforcement. Okay, that's something that's needed because we're gonna start losing fields.
It's gonna turn into a safety hazard eventually.
So,
And the hurricane just made it worse,
Yeah.
so it's.
right. And then the track resurface, and that's where we got the voids on the track that we're trying to address.
And a lot of it has to do with just drainage, so.
Yeah, and I think we cut the resurface out and just
just
Or
the
addressing
drainage, and that's what
Drainage.
we're looking
But
at
when
right
they
now.
do the drainage, they're liable to have to cut the track and patch part of it like they did at Dixon High School a few years ago, so. And then we'll have to look at resurfacing another year.
Okay, and now we've got, the roofing projects, and we said earlier that, the 5 most critical roofing projects that we have, we wanted to keep in there as an A. And just for the community, in case they didn't see the other tapes or see all the way through the 7, 8 hours of tapes that we've already done, what we're talking about is we've got over 500 buildings that we have to address on an annual basis. And so there's a certain amount of roofs that have to be replaced at any given year in that process. So, we've got quite a bit of work there to do. And so what we've done, we've identified the top 30 roofs that need to be addressed this year. But with funding, as it is, we brought it all the way down to the top 5 roofs that need to be repaired this year. If we had more money, we'd like to get them all done, but at the same time, though, we've got to address other issues that are needed in the Capital Outlay program as well. So for Richlands High School, the roof over the gym is the 5th most urgent roofing project. It's $126,000. The B building at Silverdale Elementary is the 4th most urgent roofing project, and that's at $39,000. The cafeteria and A building at Silverdale Elementary is the 3rd most urgent roofing project at $194,000. In Southwest High School, the original building, we have a portion of it that that Hurricane Florence, insurance is not covering on the main building, and that's our most urgent project right there, and that's for $300,000. All right, and right now, we don't see any changes in that. These are pretty accurate estimates. Okay, Southwest High School replaced 2 of the 3 chillers.
Well, that's basically down to one we're looking at, because it would be like, I think it was like 40,000 starting
For
originally.
3 chillers, yeah.
And just for y'all to know, if we do get funding for this, it'll be in the spring, probably before it gets replaced. And there's a good chance, because this happens pretty regularly, that the money will have to be diverted to another school for another chiller. This chiller is hobbling along right now, but we have one at Richlands High School that's in pretty bad shape.
Mhm.
Also,
Right.
it could be, we'd have to come back and divert it, because it's such a major expense and it takes so long to get them.
Now, is it
into good shape.
$180, $180,000 for one chiller?
That would be good for one chiller.
Okay,
That would do the electrical, the chiller, the piping, we have to contract that out, to someone that's certified, to re-insulate it, and, also do the control work for it,
okay.
and hire the crane to lift
So
it.
in our notes, I think we have 2. Does that need to drop down to 1?
It would, yes, it would just be one.
Yeah, I think the original request was like 275,000.
Okay, the next item is, the second most urgent roofing project, which is at Swansboro Middle School, the annex classroom buildings. That's for $240,000.
I think we can probably reduce that some. Let's knock that down to 180.
Okay. Swansboro High School HVAC works poorly in most areas of the building. I'm not sure which building we're talking about. It's either extremely hot or cold.
It's the original 1990 buildings.
Mhm.
So we're looking at trying to replace some this year. And this is something, again, for the last 5, 6, 7 years, we were trying to do these as we could find funding for it. And they're in really bad shape. They're rusting out, and the water, it's a health issue also, just trying to keep the place clean.
Right, and I noticed, and we've already cut it down from 3 to 2. So leave that for right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. White Oak High School resurfaced main parking lot. Got that at $80,000. That was cut almost in half. Stadium press box enclosure, we cut that to just, replace the vinyl. For 10,000. Okay, the Cultural Arts Center seating replacement. Okay, we're looking at replacing the seating, we cut that, down to 20,000 from, I believe it was 35,000. I don't have it on my list right here, but.
That's correct.
Okay. Safety and security, replacement of 4 schools, playgrounds, and we dropped that down to 2 schools, 2 school playgrounds, so we dropped down to 120,000. And what people don't realize is playground equipment is extremely expensive. I mean, it's something that, has to meet a lot of codes and a lot of safety requirements, for the kids to play on. It's not just the old jungle gyms with the metal rods sticking out everywhere. And I don't think, our parents, our community, and our children would feel comfortable playing on that type of equipment again. And we're not even allowed to put it in there. So, transportation, fuel polisher,
I think it would save us money in the long run.
okay. Is there we don't have any other funds we could pull it from?
Not at this time. It all depends on if DPI reimburses transportation this year, then I could.
Okay. Architect and engineering services, $100,000. And then we've got ceiling and lights. We've got all sites parking. Contracted, all sites painting, I'm sorry. Contracted painting for 4 entire schools. Fencing is at 75,000 for all sites. Paving is 250,000 for all sites.
They burn through that every year.
Yeah,
Modular classroom rebuilds, been changed out already. Roofing and renovations. Okay, we got 250,000 there on the all sites. We need that there because we cut out all the 25 of the 30 roofs that were identified. So what we're looking at with these all sites is just to patch and repair as we go forward with those, if any of these roofs start to fail. Site improvement, that's a catch-all for some of the things that you were talking about, Paige, with HVACs and equipment. Then we've got basic stock materials to keep things going in the schools, including carpet squares, rolled carpet, VCT, tile, and vinyl sheet goods. Then we have custodial equipment for custodians on campuses. The custodial equipment is approximately $90,000 worth of custodial equipment. The stock goods that we're looking at is approximately $102,000. All right. So let's go to 4. By the way, we're at $5 million right now, okay? Is that right? I'll go back and look at it again, but I think we've cut more than that. White Oak High School, replaced the kiln for $6,000. And then furniture, all sites, I had a typo error, so I put that back on. But we were talking about changing that to $85,000.
Does it count something that could be, school-based and fundraiser or something?
I don't know if we've ever done that before with the kilns. I know we've done it for other things, like for some playground equipment through PTOs and stuff like that, but for kilns, normally because it's got the electrical load and requirements, it has to meet certain requirements. We try to keep it, once they're purchased, they usually last for quite a while. It's It's a long term.
And it's necessary for the curriculum, so.
Sorry about that, guys. Maybe change that out. Okay, so let me check on something real quick, 'cause I thought. Numbers aren't matching up right there. I'll find out what's going on there. Okay, so right now, it looks like we're at, we are at 5 million. We cut 400,000 off right now. We've got to cut another 1.2. Okay. So when we start looking at this, let's just start going down the list again. Okay, we got cameras. How many cameras we have at Belfork Elementary right now?
16.
16, so they need some additional cameras.
It looks like everybody else were doing
Carolina
two, and then
Forest.
we cut it down to 2.
Carolina Forest has how many cameras?
20, I believe.
20,
Yeah.
okay.
That's just for 2 cameras to
Right.
look in the parking area, yeah.
Dixon Elementary School, we have the gym floor replacement. We all agree it needs to be done. Covered walkway, we were all in agreement there, that needs to be done. Cameras at Hunters Creek Middle School,
It's,
I mean, how
we
many
can
do
put
we
it
have
off,
there?
they've got pretty good coverage.
Do we know, they do have pretty good coverage right now?
Yeah, it's
or-
decent.
Okay. Hunters Creek Middle School replaced the gym handler unit, and you said that's in desperate need.
That one's not working right.
Okay. Painting at Jacksonville High School. Can we paint half this year and
Yeah, I mean, go as far as we can.
go as far as we can with using the all sites? We identified them as one of the schools,
If we can, yes, sir.
so we'll use a portion of that funds to go as far as we can, maybe do the front end and the back end, or,
Yes, sir. We've had to move someone else off the list, but that'll be fine.
no, I thought they were on the list already.
They are, we're gonna use, that's why we're using their other funds, and we're gonna finish up with the,
Okay,
but we're taking out all sites.
okay. Need drainage for stadium field lighting, that's needed. It's almost a safety issue. Northwoods Park Middle HVAC equipment. That was identified, it got one down. Parkwood Elementary, metal overhangs.
Is it necessary?
The comment earlier was gonna be a pay now or pay later, or is that kinda what I heard? Dusty,
I mean, there won't be a start, so. Take it out, and we'll put it in again next year.
Okay.
Same way with that.
Same with HVAC equipment.
Yes, sir, it's
I
running
mean,
right now.
so it's working right now,
It's not rusted out, so it's just old.
okay. Security cameras, we've got 5 of them for Queens Creek Elementary.
Take it down to 2.
Gymnasium bleacher replacement. try to keep it in there. See what happens, and the ditch needs to be done. Track resurface, it's more doing the, replacing the voids, which is more, gets into safety issues. Okay, barrier fence has been brought to others. Richlands High School gym roofing project. These roofing projects are the most urgent.
How much, when you add, can you add all the roofing projects up that we have, the 5 there, just to see what they total out as?
This right here is $359,000
There's one more right there.
plus,
There's for Swansboro.
plus 180. 359 plus 180 is going to be 4.
There's one, yeah.
Southwest High.
Mhm.
300.
All right, so hang on. I'll just do it this way. 839,000. So a good portion of this is roofing. Plus then you got the roofing at
250 and all that,
250.
right?
So we're running about 1.1 million in roofing alone. Hurricane season's coming up,
I
guys.
know, I was like, you gotta have a roof. I mean, you gotta.
If, we could, for instance, we could take the B building off of Silverdale, and it's only $40,000, $39,000.
All sites.
Yes, sir.
Either that, why don't we do it this way? We'll take, let's go to all sites roofing. And we'll just go ahead and take that 39 or 40,000
Go ahead,
off.
if you want to, you just, if you,
That way it's still identified and it stays on there as one of the top 5. Does that make sense?
you could drop that all sites down, too, but I mean, you need probably to at least have enough funding there for one building, and an emergency, and we're probably gonna use it pretty quick.
And we've got a lot of roofing projects going on too, so that's helped out.
It
the process.
has, just some of the stuff that we're having problems with, I don't think FEMA or the insurance companies recognized, and so,
All right. We're gonna take this down to 175 right now.
okay.
Okay, then, get your all-site site improvement, it's 150. Mobile classrooms. We're locked in on that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
You got contracted painting, we already took 90,000, and so,
What about the bleachers at Southwest with the renovating them? Would it be wiser to save for years and redo, or, I don't know?
Southwest High School, look at,
Drop it down to 25.
okay. And then- so- All right.
What about the press box? I know we dropped it down to 10, but
Yeah, I think that's because it's not there right now, so we need to put it back in.
gotcha.
All right. So let's go in.
Take the activity buses, take them off, they're in great shape.
I don't know if FEMA
I I can keep them running for another year.
All right.
Dan, do you think that ditch will make it another year for us?
I mean,
No, your activity buses.
Is that what you put in?
it's not just
Yeah,
this.
you're on the vehicles, I think.
Your neighbor
It
too next door.
won't be
Heritage.
enough.
No.
You might could take it and just say that, all, why did go ahead and do that also, or something like
Yeah.
that. To see if anything to help us with it.
That's fine.
You wanna take the, that awning off of White Oak,
The press box.
the press box thing, we're gonna try to see what we can do, and then maybe FEMA can catch that. You
And
think,
the fuel
Maureen, you
polisher.
think we can do that?
Let's see if we get the fuel polisher sometime this year.
All right.
With the funds we got. Okay.
Mike, we'll see what we can do to help with that, cause that will help us too, a great deal.
Okay. And you were saying with White Oak?
Press box.
It's only,
Take it
I
out.
think it's only $8,000, but
Where are we at? Press box.
it's 10,000.
All right, what we're gonna do there, we're gonna have somebody else, I mean, we're gonna take it out of the funding.
We're going to see what we can do out of maintenance this year, and maybe FEMA will recognize that.
Okay.
Well, the insurance company did not, but maybe FEMA will.
I can go back up, Steve, sir. Okay, for, the furnishers, take them off.
The what? The burners?
Yes, sir, 14,360, take them off.
What, I'm looking at custodial?
Yes, sir.
First
First
maintenance
maintenance
item.
item.
Okay.
Just a hospital.
Paving. Can I take it down to 200,000? I know you don't.
Paving, you said.
Do what, sir? You cut it, I mean, it was, we could spend 10 times that much in paving,
Okay.
but how much are you need?
Oh, we need a lot.
I mean,
You got $1 million?
yeah,
We're at 4.5 right now, so we gotta get it down another 700,000.
I'm sorry, not $1,700,000.
hey, cut
We'll
it,
just take all the air quality equipment out there, and we'll just buy it piece by piece if we have to.
alright. So back up to, the IAQ stuff, sir. At the bottom,
What to do, scrubbers and
the fans.
fans,
Could we possibly do like a truck or two less than, and do it the next year?
Not just, we've knocked them back every year. It's got to the point, they've got to be replaced.
or some new shoes.
Yeah.
Not the scrubbers, the IAQ stuff.
Okay.
Scrub, yeah, they zero them out.
And cut the pavement to 200.
Can we reduce our architect engineer cost any?
We have some in operational too, right?
We have contracted services in there. And lighting, you know, we
75,000.
can cut that down, say to, let's try 35,000. Fencing, can we cut fencing any?
We've done putting fence in there.
So
We
we
all
just
thought
just
that.
dumped a bunch of stuff into all sites.
Yeah.
That's it.
We can, but
All right.
take
So-
take 75 off of the ditch and we'll see where we go. Take it to 75.
Well, before we do that, let's think about this. So we've got some big ticket items right here in Richlands. Okay? Of the ones that we see right there, if we had to prioritize them, which ones would take precedence over the others? I mean, they're all very important, I know that. So, I mean, is the ditch gonna fail on us before
The ditch is eating
bleachers?
property.
Yeah, I
or-
think the ditch has the biggest potential to do something catastrophic. I mean, it's getting
Okay.
close.
So then we got these two, we got track resurface, or not, I mean,
Drainage.
or
Drainage.
drainage fixing, or the gymnasium bleacher replacement. Is there,
And I know you guys have done a lot with the drains out there over the last 2 years, so I mean, I don't know where we stand.
I mean, we're just chasing ourselves on the track. I mean, honestly, we fix this spot, then 10 feet later. you know,
pops back up?
Yes, sir.
It all
It
needs to be
just-
dug up and replaced with culvert needs replaced.
Yeah.
Okay, and the gymnasium bleacher replacement, it's been there a long time, and we're saying that's important too.
We made some modifications last year with the steps and still saw some injury.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, let's go through this then. One thing Dixon's getting is the gym floor, which isn't much, it's 35,000 that's needed. Took cover dot, we took cover for walkway at Dixon High School Annex, it's needed.
Up at the top with the, Belfort, did they need was that 5 cameras?
That, we'll get the 5, but cut it down to 2, everybody else is.
All right. Trying to think, can we get, walkways needed
That area are still functioning.
at Hunter's Creek, or where?
That Hunter's Creek is still there. We'll try it one more year. Or try to see how much funds we have left in our, in the budget in the spring next year, and if we have enough funding, maybe we can bid it out. From all sides.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna just say that, air's a big one, instructionally.
Mhm.
It's-
Okay, got the painting, it's been taken out and moved in the other, so. Drainage line. HVAC equipment, Northwoods Park Middle, it's needed.
Replacing something that's already quit.
Yeah.
We
We gotta get that
two
fixed,
units in
yeah.
there.
We've got to take those bleachers out to hit our number. Take them out.
We may have to, I don't know.
Can we do half? I was thinking the same thing. Can we do a side?
I was thinking that while ago too, but I'm not sure if you'd say we do the home side, we don't do the bleacher side, I mean, the visitor side, but,
Sounds good.
but that,
Yeah, that's what we did on the football field, yeah. I mean,
that's a big
If you do,
undertaking.
yeah.
And it's got to be done probably in the summer, when
This,
nothing else is going on, that's a big job, and usually big jobs, especially in the summer, because all those people are so busy, it's a premium, the cost is premium.
okay.
Unless we can get it done during Christmas, I don't know, we can try during Christmas break. But do y'all have any tournaments at Christmas?
The only reason we hosted this year is because the other gyms weren't in operation, so it's not our year to host. It shouldn't be next year. But Trexler's been using our facilities as well, so it's pretty booked. It's a pretty impact, so we'd have to get creative, but we would.
Well, hopefully we'll have trucks that are back online in a month or two, maybe. By the time school's out, maybe we're trying to get the roof fixed and.
Okay. So right now, we're at 4.3 million, and we gotta cut it down to the 500,000. If you guys see anything in here that you would like to bring up, we've gone through it several times now, so.
You mentioned something about the state possibly having some sort of bond referendum. Is that thing, that likely to happen in the next year?
Yeah, we can't guarantee that. That would happen by the time the funding came around, it'd be the following year.
I think there's 4 schools left with cameras.
83,200.
We can try and do that at a local.
All right.
It's,
Try to do others.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve,
See what we can
Yeah.
do.
it's the, under transportation, the fuel master monitoring system. Mike said he thought that was already cut,
Yeah, I think it is.
but it's on our spreadsheet, so I don't know if it's still up there.
Yeah, I cut it out right here.
No, above it, 83,000. Not a polisher of the monitoring system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good catch.
Good eye, Mark.
Yeah.
So, Mike, you know who to blame now.
Yeah, I just told you.
Not just kidding.
I asked.
All right. All right, so we're taking cameras out, taking that out, so now we got,
Half of the ramps. I mean, it's just be that much longer. We could drop half the ramps if we need to, Steve. And what we're trying to do is just replace some of the wooden stuff we have now.
With the mobiles we need, is there any way to move from one site to another? I know we've talked about that to cut any costs.
that's what we did this year. We started moving them from site to site, so, but remember, we gotta purchase these the year prior to them being used, so we can get them installed in time.
I think 8 is as low as you can probably go.
All right. 444,000. All right, guys, we're gonna have to get serious now. Okay, so these are zeroed out. We got gym floor replacement, we said we needed that still. You can't piecemeal that, it's all or none. Walkway to Dixon High School Annex, that's needed, it's all or none. Jacksonville High School drainage, it's needed. HVAC equipment, that's needed because it's already failed, we gotta get it replaced. There's another security camera, we're gonna try to get all sites, other funds. Richlands High School, bleacher replacement,
Steve, would we be able to, look at any of the roof funding that we had for Hunter's Creek Elementary School this year? Because of the hurricane, and we were not able to use all that, we've been using it to help, through this hurricane issue. We might have some funding left over if it would be permissible for us to reallocate that
if we can,
to maybe catch some of these issues.
is there a way, can we actually get get it locked in before the end of July as far as a purchase order?
I think so. We
Okay.
have to look at some of these items and
All
see,
right.
can we repurpose it?
Okay,
You know, without.
so if we can get the purchase orders, if we can get it started in time before the end of the school year, then those funds could roll over into that process.
We might go like, to one of the big ticket items, or we might could use it for some of the drainage. I don't know how quick we could It's just a matter of going through the paperwork, doing the bid process, that takes us so long sometimes.
Yeah, because we had earmarked how much in the capital outlay this year that's gonna be for Hunters Creek Middle,
Or Hunters Creek
elementary
Elementary,
roof.
you know, we had some, you know, for a third of the roof. And since, you know, we had the hurricane, we weren't able to do it.
Okay.
And we've been repurposing some of that funding
cover some roofs.
just to cover some of the problems that we've been having and to get us through. And,
Or let me ask you this then, is that something that we can do with the gymnasium?
so.
Bleacher replacement, we'll use other sources?
I think we probably could, either that or try to catch, like I said, some of the drainage issues. But I think if we had one item that we could concentrate on, we probably could do it. And we may could do.
Let's do that
We
one.
may could do that, and we may could do
Because the other
the
will-
other floor at Dixon Elementary.
And the reason why I'm saying, the other reason why I'm saying that, let's do it that way, because this is gonna require some, site work, civil engineering and stuff
Yes,
too,
sir.
and so that may take a little bit longer to do, and we may not get that
That in,
deal
Jack.
in place in time.
And we may be able to do that on the Dixon floor.
Dixon Elementary.
Okay. So we got that.
We'll start working on that.
Yeah, the Dixon floor will probably be pretty easy, we've already got,
Since we just bid it out,
Well-
we've pretty much already got the specifications, we just need to get measurements and get the contractor to look at it. We might be able to do that pretty quick.
Yeah, we can turn that quick.
and just so, I know we're doing a lot of talking, sidebar talking right here.
Sorry, y'all.
But, just for clarification, okay, with the hurricane, I mean, last year's capital outlay, one of the things we identified was that we wanted to do some of Hunters Creek Elementary roofing. We couldn't afford it all because, you know, through this process, you see what we do. We wanted to do it all at one time, we'll have cut down to a third of it, which is about $300,000, give or take. So the hurricane came in, and because we didn't get a chance to get the roof done, the roof is gone. I mean, the roof has been identified as, has to be completely replaced. The insurance company is addressing that right now, so they're gonna replace the whole roof. So we still have that money available from the previous capital outlay that we've been using, similar to what All Sites is right now when we have to fix things. Well, there's enough money left over, so we may be able to do the Richlands Elementary bleacher and also the Dixon Elementary School multipurpose room floor. Does that make sense? So that's what he's looking at right there. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, sir, if that's okay.
Because it was targeted for one thing, but other funding sources came in to take care of it, so then we could repurpose that money.
What does that bring us to our total?
Not enough. 200 and about 200,000 left. Okay, let me save this before we forget. Okay, so we took cameras, cover walkway, Dixon is gonna cost that much. Drainage for stadium, field and track, HVAC equipment, it's needed, we talked about. The ditch, we gotta get the ditch fixed at Richlands High School before it eats into the ball fields. We gotta take care of the track before we start losing it. Barrier fence at the rear of the schools, other sources. We got gyms, I mean, we got roofing projects that are the most critical that we've identified. Rails on the home bleacher. We got 25, we cut that significantly. Okay. Southwest High School, we placed one chiller, and it's needed. Swansboro Middle School, most urgent roof project. Swansboro High School, HVAC units. Okay, need to be taken care of. Thompson, we cut down to 15,000, replacing the worst classroom VCT. White Oak High School, main parking lot resurfaced.
field
Well,
house.
it's rough,
Yeah, I mean,
it's rough, but it, can we do any patching or anything?
take it out and we'll try out, do what we can with all sites.
Okay,
See if we can cut, and try and go in there and patch the spots. I mean, it's like-
okay. Sidewalk connector is needed. Stadium press box, we're taking out of other sources. The seats for the auditorium need to be replaced. They're broken. Replace the kiln in the art room. Let's see if we can pull that out of furnishings or
I
something like
was just
that.
gonna ask you if we can do that out of the furniture.
Okay. The card access, we went down 200, take it to 150, half of it.
Whatever we can.
You think so?
Playground equipment, we're down to 2 playgrounds. Transportation. We got vehicles that are dying on us. Activity bus has been taken out, fuel master's been taken out. All sites and engineering is needed, but we've already cut. Ceiling lights,
The drop ceiling and lights, just take it out.
that goes
We'll
below
just
all
do
sites.
whatever we can do out of all sites or maintenance.
Okay,
That was all sites.
That was all sites.
That was all sites.
Oh.
It's called.
that was all sites?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yes.
What did I took out?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Am I missing? Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's where the lighting was,
Yeah.
Yes.
okay.
We got a baseball field in the parking lot.
Well, it's-
Parking, I mean, painting, it's, we still have that as a big ticket item. Fencing is at 75,000. Furniture is needed. Mulch. Paving has been brought down to 200,000. Classroom ramps. Modular classroom rebuild has been taken out. Dumpsters are needed.
Find somewhere else, or?
What's that?
Keep going, we're looking. No offense, sir.
All right, mobile classrooms is a big ticket item that's hurting us right now.
Yeah, if you can work on that one, that would be great.
Yeah. Well, when we take a break, I'm gonna work on that for the 3 million if I can. Okay, roof and renovations. Okay, we got 175,000 in all sites.
How much more do we need to take off? If, like, if we took off another 25,000 off of that, is that
Oh.
help us in?
Guys, we're pretty close. We need 36,000.
Take 25,000 off of that, and then we'll just,
All right, and we'll call it good.
I'll give you 50 cents.
Oops, not 1,500,000 yet.
we could
Yeah,
use that.
All right, guys, we're gonna be here for a while.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're at 3.8 million and then 11,000 some change, which we can address. Okay? So we went through the first pass. What let's take a break. And I'm gonna go ahead and, bring this over. I'm gonna get ready for the next wave of it to go through. And we gotta cut out another $800,000. All right. So any comments or anything you guys want to pull out or let us know? Okay, so let's take a 10-minute break this time. I want to get this ready for the next iteration, and then also I want to make a phone call. We're back. Okay, sorry it took so long. I was trying to find other resources for $500,000. I couldn't do it, so.
Good try.
try, yeah, I need a little more time than that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What I've done now is I've taken the $3.8 million column and I copied over in a 3 million column, okay? So this is the column we're gonna be looking at cutting now. And so, and what we're looking at is we're probably looking at close to $800,000 we've gotta cut. So the first thing we need to be looking at would be,
You wanna go all the way to the top?
I am at the top.
Okay,
What I did was, all those that we zeroed out already, I just hit it.
you hit them.
And so that's why you don't see that there. So Dixon High School covered a walkway. We're all in agreement, we still need it.
We didn't zero out the cameras and stuff on that Belcourt, and,
Yeah, we did. I went ahead and took them out.
okay.
Here,
I think they're looking at some other funds to try to get some.
yeah, I went ahead and zeroed out. Here, I'll show you.
Okay, no, that's fine, I just missed it when we were.
Well, when we're looking at maybe some other funds or something for that?
Yeah, we're looking at the funds for it.
Because I had them down to 2, and that's, that was the last
Yeah, and that's,
thing that got.
and what I did is, when we went through the process, Mark, I went through any cameras, we're looking at pulling them out of some other funds. Okay. Okay. Jacksonville High School need drainage for stadium, field, and track. Okay. You see where I'm at right now. You probably have to follow the screen up here. It's gonna be easier with all the changes we've made so far. HVAC equipment for Northwoods Park Middle, that's the one unit that's down already. It needs to be fixed. The main ditch, it's at $100,000. Get that fixed.
We can do it next year, but if we do that, we need to keep the track. Because,
If you do it next, I mean, is it gonna,
I mean, it's not gonna go away, but
Was the major erosion due to the hurricane?
Well,
Or just
it's been
always
happening
been
over, it's been
happening?
happening over years, it's just with the, you know, even before the hurricane, you go back to last summer, from then through now, we've had rain constantly for about every week and stuff and all, and so with the erosion that's there, all the water's flowing one way, and so, and the amount of rain we've been getting, all it's been doing is just beating it out more and more, so.
is there any way we can control the flow until we can get it fixed?
No, sir. I mean, it's, we stopped cleaning out some of the swells, but all we've done there is just distributed the water elsewhere, and which is causing more ponding,
Okay.
not on the roads, but out in the
All right.
grass,
They're needed.
so.
Okay. And we got the roofing that we said was needed. Rails on the home bleachers.
I think that might have to go.
We can do some, we can,
Let's get an engineering assessment and then see if we got to pull out other funds at that
and we
point in
can,
time.
we can use our, architect and engineering funds, we can pull out.
Okay.
Why don't we do that with the ditch too then? Get in the civil engineer and see what all it takes. Because we're not just talking about Richlands High School, we're talking about Heritage as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
why don't we cut that down some and hire somebody to help us?
All right, let's start out with 50,000,
Okay.
okay, and see what we can do to at least get the civil engineer to take a look at this, and then from there,
Plan of action.
plan of action. If we got monies available to do it, we'll do it. If not, we'll have to see what else we can find somewhere else. I don't know where it's gonna be found, but. Okay. So now, got the
We don't need to
roofing,
mess with that one, not with Southwest High School.
no. Annex,
Where's it at, how much do we still have on the roofing? sites.
Roofing all sites.
$150.
150. Okay, I'm gonna take this, see if we can find some additional funds from some of the existing construction projects we're working on. Like the skill center, I might have a little bit of money, but I'm gonna take it down to 400,000. Well, now that,
And we got it.
Thank you, sir.
Very generous.
all
You're
right.
making a donation.
How
Okay.
much more do we need, Steve?
We need 576,000. Okay. So let's just go up here. We've already talked about several things. Rails on the home bleacher, we took. Roofing. We know the roofing is an issue right now. We haven't got the bid back for the roofing yet for the Southwest High School, have we?
No, sir.
Do you know when that'll be coming in?
That's up to Ed.
Ed.
Okay. Ed, I mean, that's the architect that's helping us, prep for the roofing over that area. Okay. We cut that down in half, and that's one of the things we want to focus on as far as the card access and security systems. We need to try to keep that in there as much as possible.
Take out the seating above water, and we'll see what we can start off with. The 20.
Okay. And then sidewalk connection, can we pull that out of all sites for 15,000? I know it's asking a lot.
We might get, put it out of,
And-
asphalt.
yeah, I'm sorry.
paving.
I keep on forgetting everybody's, I'm talking about White Oak High School sidewalk connections.
Yeah, take it out. We'll
We'll
figure
try
it
to do that with all sites.
out. Underneath the all sites too. With the seating.
What's that?
The one underneath it, put down all sites too with the seating. So you see where you took it out.
Okay.
And good. The fencing, just cut it down to 50. And we'll go as far as we can.
So you added several things in there.
I'm trying to pick this in two eagles.
Furniture, just have some other things in there too. Kill just paving. I'm gonna take you down to 175. I hate doing this. All right, we're down to 491,000.
We take the dumpsters out, we'll just take that out of regular operating expense. Took up to the second, right there,
Up
a little bit more.
How much more we gotta cut? Sir?
473.
Boy, I'm pushing this hard. 373. let's go. Seven service vehicles at a cost of $28,900.
He's not gonna get 7 vehicles for that kind of money.
That's all state contract, the price that I did there.
We're gonna take you down to 5.
Okay.
What's gonna happen? Can we keep the other 2 running?
I've had-
Two of the best
we'll-
oldest?
We'll do what we gotta do.
We're already on the
We're already
old
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got subs out on the road right now where I can't get parts for some of the older ones that we're still running.
All right.
I mean, I can go back buying used vehicles, but we're gonna end up in the same boat that we're in right now.
Yeah.
Any short buses, like I was talking about?
No.
What? I might be able to scrounge $90,000
For,
out of something else right now. So drop it 90,000 and I'll try to get that money out of another fund.
Okay. I'm gonna take it to 220. Oops, I'm sorry, 120. All right, guys.
Can do 1 playground instead of 2, but Jacksonville Commons Elementary's got to have.
All right, so we take it down to 1 playground.
60.
You said JCE?
Yeah.
On the roll, on the roll.
take off the roll carpet,
The what?
the rolled carpet,
Roll
Okay.
adhesive,
roll carpet and adhesives, 400.
400.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we got another 100, if we get down to 150,000,
Okay, I mean, if you're, stay down at the bottom there. Please, sir. Take out, the fans, I guess.
Yeah, if we had to do without something, we could, it's 411, I think.
And 413. Take it out.
okay, if I could go touch clean
Not the
system.
Kayak, the one that, I love it, I'm sorry. What's the Mastercraft? 414, sorry.
Okay. All right, so where are we at now? Let's go back and cover walkway needed. Drainage has to be taken care of. HVAC equipment. Ditch we cut drastically. Track resurface. Or
It's
fix
for
the
drainage,
Drainage.
yeah, it's not even track.
let me change this. So that we don't get confused. Okay, we got Jim.
One less roofing project. And we can continue to patch.
Put one down.
I don't know, this Swansboro is down to the fabric
Yeah.
there, so it's
All right.
all in bad shape.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to do this.
Leaking the walls
Uh,
or
it's a gym.
Guys, I'm gonna have to cut your painting,
Okay.
okay? I mean, it's needed, it looks good and everything else, but there's some things we just gotta have to keep things running.
For years, what we did without painting and asphalt.
And if later on, if we can get some money, if we get money back, from the mobile classrooms or find other sources for that, then I'll put that back in there, okay? All right, if you guys can get me down another 25,000, we'll call it quits.
Let's go back and look at the roofing and see what we can do.
Okay, got the gym,
Cut 25 off of the cafeteria and A building for Silverdale. And we'll see what kind of roof we can get.
okay?
Glue.
Tarps.
Cool idea.
No, I mean, if we bid all that out, we may save in
And bulk,
bulk, yeah.
yeah. Okay,
There's a lot of people that are interested.
I'm gonna leave it at $3,030,000. You guys okay with that?
Sure.
Is everybody in agreement that this isn't fun? All right. So we're at $3 million, and what'll happen is we get some tax refunds and stuff too that will bring it up to about that extra 30,000, between 20 and 30,000 we'll usually see. Okay, so that's where we're at. And remember, this is the worst case scenario. What we're gonna present initially is we're gonna be looking at 5.4 million. And we would like to, worst case scenario, go to 3.8. But if the county can't provide the additional funding, at least we can let people know how it's gonna impact the school system. Okay? Any questions? Thank you. Thank you all for doing this. Once I get this together, we'll get a report out to everybody too, let you guys know what's going on. You put a lot of work into this stuff, man. And I appreciate your time, I appreciate your input, I appreciate your honest input, so. All right, thanks.